Hey friends, welcome to this episode of Inspirational Kids. And today we have N Shubhankar. So let me tell you a brief background about Shubhankar. So he belongs to a family of engineers. His dad is an MTech, his uncle is an MTech, his cousins are from engineering colleges. His mom is a PhD in chemistry, but he is into design. He hated maths, physics, and was under some kind of stress and all those things, because his parents wanted him to get into engineering because of the family background and all. But after, going through a little bit of stress and anxiety, he put up his foot down. He was extremely honest with himself and truthful to himself and went to his parents and said, engineering is not what I want to do. My passion is drawing and I want to go into drawing. And that is when his parents and he went to the exercise of complete career coaching. They went through the psychometric test, reporting one-to-one counseling sessions, and to his surprise, his top three careers were into design. He was surprised because the career options that were discovered for him were in alignment with his interest of drawing, sketching. He in fact want at that point in time, at least he told me that he wanted to become an automobile designer. So that's what. And today he is in the second year of Bachelor of Designing in one of the top colleges of designs in India. So with that brief introduction of Shubhankar, I would just like him to, make it. He has prepared a small presentation, which he would like you all to watch, particularly students who want to get into design and want to understand what designers do. So he has made a small presentation on what he has been doing in the last 2 years of his design school or even before that. So, and then once he has done, then we'll ask him a couple of questions. So over to Shubhankar. Yes, Shubhankar, you can start.
Thank you very much, Coach. I'm glad to be here and I'll surely present my screen. I've made a really small presentation of what I have done in couple of past years, and before that, it's just 1 or 2% of what I have done. But I guess it will make a difference in all the budding designers. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sure. Perfect. So you have put online Newton. You want to show it in the online Newton video.
Yeah. So before we get into this very small presentation, any of those budding designers who have queries even after this interview can DM me at my Instagram and we can talk about how things work before you get into a college and after that. Starting with, okay, starting with, we are taught CAD modeling and rendering. So what you see here is a smart band which pretty much looks ordinary but has a lot of technology into it. And I request all the designers to always be with the trend. You have to learn new things every day and you have to be innovative with what you are doing. The very important skill that any budding designer should have is the hands-on approach. You have to be very good with your sketching. At least you should be good enough to express what is there in your mind. And yeah, uh, COVID has done some major problems for us. We don't get material since I'm an industrial designer and we work on materials all day long. It was hard for us to get materials the right the right proportions and the right specs. So this is the outcome that you can see after working for almost 5 hours after sticking all the thermocol sheets. So you have to be very vigilant and you have to be good at time management. because these things take a lot of time and you have to complete your assignments as well. Because if you don't complete assignments, then there's a lot of loss you are going to occur. These are my favorite. These are my favorite designs from the past 2 years. I wanted to show you the outcome of it, but due to some reasons, I cannot. But if you really want to see it, you can DM me on my Instagram and I can share you the images of it. You have to be creative with what you are doing. So what you see here is a shoe box, which doesn't look like a shoe box, ordinary shoe box, but has an additional handle so that I can uh, eliminate the use of an additional handbag, so you can carry it anywhere. Also, you have to be good at prototyping. As I told you, COVID has done some major issues for prototyping as well, but you can see the result and the thought process into it. Okay, so coach earlier asked me like what is scope of photography and designing. So I would like to clear that point. Photography is a major skill that you can acquire by practicing it, because being an industrial designer, I have to take pictures of my prototyping, I have to take pictures of my final product, and then we can sit with these images and finalize my product. So these are some outcomes while I was practicing photography. Also, we are taught engineering drawing, the real basic ones, because we are taught CAD modeling, and you have to be very specific with the dimensions as well. So you have to be a little good in maths as well. Luckily, I was a little good in maths. The next thing we are taught is about Adobe softwares, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and many more. And I think you have to practice it even before you get into a college, because these are some major things that will help you out in your assignments. And you have to think out of the box, really out of the box, because when you get into market, you cannot show products that are already available or make some minor changes and show it to your jury. You have to be very creative with it. Favorite part, I did work for an apparel company. It was based for animal protection, so I did these illustrations for them.
Wow,
And
this looks
I
nice.
also work. Thank you, coach. I also work for prints as well, uh, online prints or t-shirt prints. So I did this for an organic oil company. I made this logo from scratch. I made this pamphlet. It's I did this cards as well. There's a pipeline of cards that we do, but I could not share that. But we do this too. Like, industrial design is father of all design. We can communicate by printing things, uh, making illustrations of it. We have to make user experience better in every product. So we have to learn user experience as well. As coach mentioned, I do canvases as well. So this is the time before uh, joining college. The major achievement I had in my first year, our installation was put up in Kalagoda Arts Festival, Mumbai. I feel very proud because I don't think many of the students get this opportunity in their first year. And I'm really glad to share this. And right now, I'm leading a magazine team of 20 people where we create these magazines, we market them, we design them, and we take it to industry people in the design world. Thank you. And you can DM me at my Instagram. Yeah, that's all, coach.
Perfect. So thanks a lot, Shubhankar, for this wonderful presentation. And so, so friends, how did you find that presentation? Actually, the last slides that you see is the start of his journey. So those were the paintings, I think, which Shubhankar made before joining his designing, or even before taking a decision to get into learning design. So that is where. So if you are into making such type of sketches or painting and want to make a lot of money out of it, then design is the career for you. And why not? I mean, your passion can take you to places. He is just in the second year, and he is leading the team of that View magazine of the college, and through that magazine they are talking to industry professionals into industries and all. He was a part of the Kalagoda festival team represented by his college or group of colleges, I think. And if you are good in what you do, and if you are passionate about it, you can do a lot of things, and money will flow. He is just in the second year, so I don't have to talk about that now. So Shubhankar, that was really nice, and thank you very much for the presentation. It will definitely help students to to funnel down their career choices towards design. So, when was the first time, Shubhankar? Start with the first question. So, when was the first time that you thought that you want to go into a design career? What came to
Okay,
your
so
mind? When it came to your mind?
okay, getting into a design college is a very later part. There's a long journey of 20 years into it. From an early age, I was really fond of drawing and automobile as well. I used to spend a lot of time drawing on textbook pages. I never liked reading textbook, but the only thing was I used to get a lot of empty space to doodle around, and I used to sketch on tables as well. So it was fun in school because my friends really supported me in my drawing part of it.
They never
And
complained to the teacher, right? Then
pardon?
they never complained to the teacher that this guy is making doodling on the textbooks instead of listening to what they are teaching.
Never, never. They used to support me, like they used to push me back into the back seats of the class, and I used to doodle on them. So they were really supportive, and they are supportive till now. I think it was in my ninth standard when my father suggested me that design is a good field for you, so that I can explore my capabilities. He did his research part of it. I did mine, and it was my personal decision that design is something I can pursue as a career.
No. So I remember you when you came, you wanted to do the complete career coaching exercises and all. So what was your reaction when you saw that design is your top career?
Yeah. Since it was my first decision, then my parents supported me in it. But the thing is, if you haven't find your abilities or capabilities for your future, then you should first find it out, and then you can go for a career test. Because and also major part, you have to be very truthful while you give this test, because it's all you. It's anonymous. No one reads your answers, so you have to be truthful of what you are. Then only you can get a the right answer. And I think I was really good at it. I took 2 or 3 career tests to be very sure, and every time it was design. And yeah, that was the point that design is what I will do as my career, and I love it.
Wow. And how did the surroundings, I mean, the society reacted to your decision? I mean, what were your subjects in 11th and 12th? I'm sure they were not maths and physics.
No, no. Uh, uh, to start with, in my 10th boards, I scored 86%, which is a decent amount of percentage, and was super happy about it. But for 11th, I took arts, humanities, and people used to frown, and I could really read their faces that they are judging me. कि बंदा क्या कर रहा है 10th में 86% लाके he is doing arts. What is he gonna do? Like BA, उससे आगे क्या होगा? But that's what I wanted to change. People think that doing arts is something a very average student thing, but it's not. If you are clear of your thoughts, what you have to do, and you are firm on it, then things can really work for you. Also, when I told people that after all I wanted was a 12th passing certificate. I did get that with 72%, which is also good. And I told people that I'm going to pursue designing as my career. And they are like, fashion designing karega. I'm like, nahi, fashion designing is not the only thing. There are several branches of design. The major ones are industrial design, communication design, user interface, and user experience. And these three branches have several sub branches. So those budding designers who think design has no career, you are very wrong. There are a ton of opportunities for you. Just be firm. You have you have to make your own decisions, and thing will work for you.
So, friends, hear him what he is saying. Tons and tons of sub branches are there in the main three branches, and there is a huge opportunity in design. I remember a quote by the great you know Steve Jobs. He himself was not an engineer. He himself was an artist. He learned calligraphy and advanced into calligraphy, and he has created a company which is the number one technology company in the world today. And he has said that Apple is 90% art and 10% technology. Now that's what design is all about. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Shubhankar, yeah. So how was your preparation for the entrance exams and all? How was it? What all you did uh, do to crack those exams? I know there are a lot of different institutes, and every institute has, or a group
Yeah.
of institutes has. So NITs have one exam, IITs have a different exam, other engineering or other design colleges have their own exams. So how was the approach, the complete approach towards that? Because that is one level that you have to cross to get into design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to talk about this because uh, the journey of getting into a college, it was super intense because all these exams happen when you are in your 12th board exams. So they are almost parallel to each other, and you have to manage them. I remember I did not give my prelims for 12th, both of them, just to study for my entrance. I did join a class. I joined Silica at Washi for 2 years, and yeah, it really did help me because they help you shape what you haven't found out. Like when I first made a board game, uh, my teacher really she was impressed. Like I never knew that I could create a board game. So these classes, if you join them, they will really find out what you are good at. And for preparation of exams, you should have basic 10th maths, just the uh, area, perimeter, and basic calculations. Other than that, you should have really good observation skills. You have to be good with your sketching as well, because if you can't put up what you are thinking, it's of no use. There are two types of designers: those who think good and those who execute it good. But to become a great designer, you have to have both. You should have good thinking power and a good execution level as well. So also for preparation, yeah, you have to prepare for multiple levels. First, you have to give the on paper or online test by IIT Bombay. They have their separate tests. NID has separate tests for it. But design aptitude test is what they term it. So it's basically testing how your design abilities are. And after that, if you crack it or you do not crack it, it depends. But if you crack it, you have to go through another level of preparation, that is your portfolio. That is super important. You have to be very versatile with it. You can have your own style. Like I love black. I love adding black to everything I do, but there should be versatility in that too. Like I can build a shoe box, so I should be able to design a shoe as well. If I design a pen, I should be able to design the packaging of it as well. So you have to be uh, multidisciplinary design. You should have multidisciplinary design aspect.
Okay, so
So I
profiling is
guess
very, very important.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, portfolio is very important.
there is something called a studio test, I think, in these entrance
Yeah.
exams. So yeah. and maybe interviews also
Yeah,
happen, right? So what is
yeah. These interviews and studio tests are important because you have a panel which judges you, like actually judges you on your capabilities. So if you don't have a good portfolio, they can straight away reject you, or they can see through a two three pieces you have, absolutely gorgeous pieces, and they can select you in just a couple of minutes, and then later on it's all formality. But those initial few minutes you have to show your absolute diamond work.
wow? So I mean, passion is something which clearly speaks out when you are interacting. And I'm sure if you are passionate about what you are doing, you will have always have a great presentation. You don't have to worry about the way you are talking or the way you are presenting. You will automatically present extremely well if you are passionate about what you are talking. Yeah. So
Absolutely, yeah.
yes. So uh, what happened when you got selected into that design school? I mean, what was the reaction of those surroundings around you who were trying to judge you with your selection of arts, and your parents and maybe family members, or maybe even your teachers?
It was priceless because design is what I always wanted to do, and I got into a college which will help me improve my skills, and it was a major comeback for me because I was not very good in academics in school, but I did crack these entrance exams, so I was very proud of myself. And yeah, I just don't care about my surroundings anymore, and I did not at that time too, because there are people, they will definitely demotivate you, but you have to be, as I told you, you have to be very firm with what you are going to do and be passionate of what you are doing.
Any last line, uh, advice to the budding designers or those who want to get into design?
Since design is a very vast field, I don't have a very short answer to it. I may just go on for hours and hours on it, but for time constraint, I'll complete in 2 minutes. Do not regret your decision. If you want to become a designer, I guarantee you that's the best decision you have ever made. And if you are a budding designer, I really insist you guys to be creative in whatever you do, even in the simplest things. If you are sketching a simple line, make sure it's very creative. And you know, a simple line, it can be as wavy, it can be as circular, or it can be as vivid. So you have to be creative. You should visualize things 2D, 3D, 4D, every d you can possible. Being consistent is very, very, very important. Even after you join college, you have to be consistent with the level of output. You have to set a benchmark and cross it every time. You should have a problem solving approach, because design is a field where you have to work for the user. You don't create a design for yourself and expect it to, you know hyped up in the market. So you have to understand your user as well. Being team player, having great communication skill is also important, because you have to sell your product, you have to sell your ideas in the market. And if you are not in if you are not good in communication skills, do take care of it. Start practicing it from right now. And yeah, work hard and develop the right skill set, and you will be a great designer, a great designer.
Wow. So that was the last line. And before we just leave and close this discussion, I have a last question to ask to Shubhankar. And this
Sure.
will interest all those people who hate giving exams. So, how do exams happen? How many subjects are there? How many exams are there? So, it's an eight semester course. So, after when you cross from one semester to another semester, there is an interesting part about getting into design. So, I'll ask Shubhankar to talk about that. How many exams? Yeah, written exams, oral
Yeah.
exams. Yeah.
Definitely, I would love to answer this question. There are tons of exams. I'm just kidding. I give no exam at all. I just work hard for my assignments and I give the best jury possible I can. So I have no written papers in the college I am right now. We have to work hard for our assignments and that's all. And I should be good in communicating what I have done for those 6 months. That's the
Wow.
best part. And
So that
probably that's the reason I took design because it has no exams.
So that's one reason for envying, these designers. They don't have to do any exams and they become a designer after 4 years. No exams, only projects, assignments. Finish your assignments in time if you can, and do your
Yeah,
best,
yeah.
and just present it in front of the jury after every 6 months, and you cross and go to the next semester. That's the beauty of getting into design. So, friends, that was all for you. I hope you enjoyed this conversation right from somebody who is just like you. And if you feel connect, if you can connect with what Shubhankar is talking, design is the career for you. Or maybe something else, music or sports, or even if you can connect with the passion what Shubhankar has been talking, you should choose your career accordingly. So, with that note, thank you very much, Shubhankar, for joining us today in this episode of Inspiring Kids. And you are definitely an inspiration for a lot of kids after this interview. I'm sure about that. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much, coach. It was a great interview. Like I had this interview after a very long time after this jury. So I'm glad to communicate with you, interact with the budding designers. So it's a great moment for me. Thank
Oh,
you for having me.
thank you so much. Thanks.